What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lightskin Reacts back with another video, and today we're acting to football content. It's been a while, hasn't it? We're acting to the footballing prince who never became king. Obviously, we're talking about the great Neymar dos Santos Jr. Man, this man had so much talent. Could have been the greatest of all time. But let's see what he has to say about Neymar Jr.
When I was just entering high school, I started hearing about this rising superstar in Brazil, who everyone was saying was the best
Obviously by
Brazilian player
Raymond
produced
football.
since Ronaldinho, with some pundits online even seriously calling him the next Pele. And I watched some of the most low-quality highlights back then on YouTube, and was absolutely amazed at how great his skills were as a young player. I even tried copying him, trying to do as many skill moves as possible whenever I could in my club. So much so that my squad teammates would start to call me Neymar. Yeah, that's where this YouTube channel name comes from.
So that's where your name came from.
Even up until today, nobody has had more spotlight, more hype, or more expectation. It's truly hard to put into words just how much hype Neymar had back in the early 2010s. But nobody has even come close. Not even a young Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Erling Haaland, or Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe is the closest one,
expected to lead his generation of football as the next all-time great and multiple Ballon d'Or winner. But the greatest wonder kid of all time would never be able to blossom into his full potential. This is a story of Neymar Jr., the footballing prince who never quite managed to become king.
Oh man. The fact that Neymar had that much potential to become greater than Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, crazy.
Attributing the close quarter play to his technique, decision-making, and ball control. Even as a much skinnier and younger kid than most, it was obvious that his talent was different.
Man, look at those step overs,
dancing with the ball around defenders at an incredibly young age. Eventually, at the age of 11, he would be scouted by no other than Santos FC, where he would stay until he was old enough to play for the men's team. However, in 2005, when he was 14 years old, Neymar's talent was special enough to be recognized and invited over to Spain to sign and play for Real Madrid's youth program. And this was when players like Zinedine Zidane and fellow Brazilians Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, and Robinho were still with the club. Naturally, Neymar's incredible talent far surpassed the already high expectations of Real Madrid.
But the fact that Neymar could have played for Real Madrid instead of Barcelona is still a crazy thing.
Regardless of the incredible opportunity, Neymar's father, who also happened to be his agent at the time, decided it was best to keep him closer to home. Now, do I think Neymar would be an even more elite player if he had trained in Real Madrid? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because the mentality would have been even better.
Level of competition, having access to better training facilities and
granted,
infrastructure.
Neymar is a very good mentality, which people underrate crazy.
Motivated and fueled even more by trying to compete for playing time versus world-class players. But
Neymar has an elite mentality. It's just the fact that he got injured too many times.
Makes you really respect the love he has
and his mentality sometimes
comfort decided on by his father early on in his career. I believe is definitely a huge factor as to why Neymar's eventual work ethic and dedication to the game would be as relaxed as it is today. But Neymar would make his official debut for the Santos men's team at the age of 17 and would quickly start to distinguish himself in the Brazilian league.
Neymar's like
goals and providing 10 assists.
This Neymar, the Neymar that he's talking about now, is almost the same age as me.
Playing against grown men. It was his dribbling, flashiness, and just how effortlessly calm and composed he looked doing it that really began to put the spotlight on him.
Against old men,
next year in the 2010 season, Neymar's playstyle would quickly make its way around the internet and his popularity would make an incredible jump. He would help lead Santos to the Brazilian Cup and dominate the Campeonato Paulista with 14 14 goals in 19 games, eventually going on to finish the season with an incredible 43 goals and 20 assists in 60 matches. An incredible 1.05 goal contributions per game, further skyrocketing his reputation as the most exciting young player in the world. Chelsea had even made a €20 million bid for the 18-year-old Neymar,
Chelsea,
as
man.
they knew that was just pennies compared to how valuable the generational wonder kid was. But hey, not all of us can pass up on money that easily, especially today with prices as high as ever. Finances can be so intimidating. That's why you need today's sponsor, Dave.
Man, I'm just gonna take over this
easier with an interest-free extra cash advance, fee-free goal tracking, and easy ways to find a side hustle.
The fact that Chelsea could have signed Messi in 2014, Neymar in 2010, Mbappe in 2016. Oh my goodness, who else could have we signed? You could have had Salah, KDB, oh my goodness, Chelsea. And now we're 11th in the Prem. Granted, we have Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is cold. Cole Palmer will be one of the greatest wingers in the Prem. Modric will become one of the greatest Prem wingers. Mark my words. Mark my words. But hey, what can you say? Chelsea, man. Oh, man.
Neymar's popularity would turn into global superstardom. During the Club World Cup, the world would get a glimpse of Neymar under the international spotlight when Santos would make it all the way to the final and challenge Barcelona, which meant that the most exciting young star in the world was able to play against Lionel Messi. And even though Santos would lose, everyone could see that this kid truly had so much potential, almost single-handedly bringing his club all the way to the final, and also winning the Puskás Award against fellow Brazilian giants, Flamengo. And by 2012, Neymar was without a doubt the most talked about player in the world outside of Messi and Ronaldo, and nobody else even came remotely close. He would have the best year of his career so far, scoring 43 goals and providing 18 assists in 47 matches. An absurd 1.3 goal contributions per game from someone who was only 20 years old, winning the Campeonato Paulista as the top scorer and being the top scorer of the Copa Libertadores, while nearly winning
the top scorer of basically the Champions League of
ending the
South
2012
America
season as the South American Footballer of the Year. For many doubters, Neymar had never really proven himself at the top international level, and in 2013, it was his chance to
at the
finally prove
Confederations
it,
Cup,
challenging the best international squads in the world.
Man, I remember watching this tournament as a kid. I'm like, damn.
And Brazil's golden boy would lead his country to victory, showing
Neymar
extraordinary
is
skills that hadn't
like,
been done since the days of
I've also
prime
seen Messi and Ronaldo before this, but when I saw Neymar for the first time here, I was mesmerized.
3-0, with Neymar being awarded the golden ball of the tournament. This was absolutely huge, and every football headline had Neymar's name on it. And around this time, he was finally talked about
I remember that
even
free
more
kick.
than Messi
Not
and
this one,
Ronaldo,
previous one.
which
I
would
remember that
never
free
happen
kick.
to anyone else during their prime. But there he was, a 21-year-old getting all the spotlight, and everyone in the world was calling him the next Pele, even being on the cover of Time magazine with the exact same headline. Sure, there were many other next Peles before him, but this time, Neymar seemed like the real deal. It had been a very long time since so much expectation was placed on a single player. Everyone back then, including me and everyone on my football team, all wondered the same thing. When was Neymar going to join a top club in Europe? Everyone wanted to see what he could do outside Brazil, and transfer talks and rumors regarding his next destinations were all pundits could talk about. Neymar was in headline after headline. And finally, the announcement was made. Neymar would be joining FC Barcelona. A Neymar and Messi combo did not sound good for other clubs at all. And his presentation to Camp Nou had one of the biggest turnouts ever. Players who had underestimated him just because he played in Brazil soon learned it the hard way, as he would score 39 goals and get 10 assists in 51 appearances. That is 0.96 goal contributions per game,
after leaving
which is
South
insane
America,
considering he had to share the ball with Suarez, who scored 25 goals, and Messi, who scored 58 goals. Barca would absolutely dominate football, winning the La Liga title, UEFA Champions League title, Copa del Rey, and a Spanish Supercup. With Messi and Ronaldo, each scored 10 Champions League goals as the competition's joint top scorers. And critics who hated on Neymar, saying that his game wouldn't translate well into Europe, were awfully silent.
Guess who scored the same amount?
Neymar.
He scored 10 as well.
Much to the surprise of no one. Just behind Messi and Ronaldo. Many people already knew he wasn't going to win, but it was proof that he was more than just the hype that people believed him to be just a couple of years before. And behind those two, it was really Neymar, who had the most talent in the world and who was up next to be destined for greatness. And Neymar would play amazingly for the remainder of his time in Barcelona, scoring 51 goals and getting an incredible 51 assists in his last 94 appearances for the club, winning yet another La Liga title and a Copa del Rey trophy in his final
Neymar's
two
free
seasons.
kicks are so
And overall in
underrated.
Barcelona, he would have 105 goals and provide 76 assists in 186 matches. That is an incredible 0.97 goal contributions per game throughout his brief 4 seasons with the club. Neymar would be absolutely phenomenal during the MSN era of Barcelona, but deep down he had always wanted to be the star of his team. And
not behind
that deep down, as long as he stayed in Barcelona, Messi would always be the priority and center of attention. Neymar's wish to leave Barcelona made him, without a doubt, the most desired transfer in the entire world. Neymar was a generational talent, and everyone knew he would instantly make their club better. That's when he decided to join PSG as
Yeah,
the
about
most
this, I wanna ask you
expensive
guys a question
transfer
at the
in
end.
history,
Yeah.
worth 222 million
Bro.
euros. A record I don't think will beat 2020 season in the height of the pandemic. Neymar would help lead PSG to the Champions League final, wanting to prove to the world that he could lead his club to European glory outside of Barcelona. But as fate would have it, they would lose the match 1-0 to a 59th minute goal by Kingsley Coman, of all people, which he had no control over as PSG was playing poor defense. And this would destroy Neymar. And in his final 2 seasons with the club, he would reunite with Lionel Messi. But were ultimately, well, contributions per game throughout his 6 seasons with
that
PSG.
must have been cut
and
out.
he was still able to do that despite being constantly plagued with minor injuries almost every
yeah,
single
probably.
season, only making over 30 appearances in a single season during his time in France.
That's crazy.
And for his home country of Brazil,
See,
after
those
the
injuries-
2014 and 2018 World Cup disappointments, as although he was selected for the 2019 Copa America, in which Brazil would eventually win,
They won
Neymar
it
was never
without
able to
him,
lift the
bro.
trophy with his country, as just prior to the tournament, he would be out with a 4-week-long injury. And when
Neymar's
he was finally
injuries are
healthy for the
sad.
2021 Copa America, despite being in absolutely incredible form,
He
and
reached the
even being
final?
named the player
Guess
of the
we
tournament,
lost.
he would once again unluckily lose another final 1-0, this time against Argentina.
Oh.
However, in 2022, there was something different about Neymar. In his final season with PSG, he would have 18 goals and 17 assists in 29 matches, a 1.2 goal contributions per game being in absolutely amazing form. And he would continue
Beautiful
this incredible
playmaker
play
was
all the
Neymar.
way up to the 2022 World Cup, where Neymar was looking like a man on a mission. He might not have been able to win the Champions League outside of Barcelona, but he was finally looking like the leader we always hoped he would turn out to be, playing absolutely
Bro,
incredible in the World Cup.
Brazil
I
was
thought
one of
this
my
would
favorites
finally
in that
be his
World
chance
Cup.
and Brazil would take it all the way. Though once again suffering a minor injury and missing a few matches, Neymar would return in the quarterfinal against Croatia, where he would go on to score
Scoring
one
out
of
of the
the
most
best goals of the
clutches.
tournament and at the same time equal Pele's 77 goals to become Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer. But as fate would have it, his team would once again let him down, with absolutely terrible defense out of his control, leading to Croatia scoring a last-minute equalizer,
Marquinhos.
ultimately losing 4-2
Bro,
in what was the most
Marquinhos, bro.
pathetic penalty shootout I've ever seen. And as hard as Neymar tried, he wasn't even able to take a penalty. And this final heartbreak for Neymar, I believe, truly made him lose the passion that he has for the game. As with Messi and Ronaldo finally both gone from Europe this year, it was his chance to try once more for the Champions League with PSG, and maybe even have the opening for the Ballon d'Or that he was close to winning a couple of times. But Neymar, at 31 years old, would ultimately depart Europe to head to the Saudi League to follow the money. The prince, who had finally had a decent opening to take the crown, had decided to give it all up.
He
Neymar,
relinquished
in
the
my opinion,
crown.
is one of the most disrespected footballers in history.
Bro, that
relative to
meme is
how
still
great
crazy.
he is. And I understand he has many haters because of his tendencies to dive a lot. If you really think about it, who else other than Ronaldo or Messi have been as consistently great as Neymar for so many years?
Facts.
Neymar has had more expectation to do well than any other footballer of this generation. Since he was
Bro, look at
16 years
those
old, the weight
passes.
of conquering football and bringing Brazil to World Cup glory once more had always been on his shoulders
Another
since the
banger
very
free kick.
beginning. I'm 100% confident that if Neymar had played in different eras of football, he would have at the very
Multiple.
least 2 Ballon d'Ors. And
Multiple.
as generational
2,
of a player as
3
Neymar
bare
is and has
minimum, bro.
always been, I believe it's never been close to his full potential. A mix of injuries, a lack of dedication and work ethic, and overall just some incredibly unlucky finals losses. All at the hands of a single goal nonetheless, prevented
Bro,
Neymar
every
from being known
time.
as one of the greatest footballers to ever live.
Facts.
And Neymar has always been one of my
40
most
for all-
favorite
all time
players
for
to
sure.
watch. And although he will forever be a legend and a player that will always be remembered, he was just never able to reach his full potential or lived up to be as great as he could have been. Truly the footballing prince who never quite managed to become king.
Facts. Damn. Man, it's so sad seeing how Neymar ended up being in the end, because I remember as a kid watching MSN and versus BBC. I was like, always, my favorite player of all time will always be Ronaldo, in my opinion, always, until another one that I like comes out. It was Ronaldo, then Neymar, then Messi. Those are my top 3 favorite, not the best thing, not order, my favorite. Every time I see Neymar play the ball, I'll be like mesmerized and be in awe of what this kid could do, because he had so much potential, man. As he said, multiple Ballon d'Ors if he was not playing the Messi and Ronaldo era. Probably I would say maybe he would have won 3 if he played in the era of before Ronaldo, the R9 Ronaldinho era, like that era. He's sweeping every Ballon d'Or without questions. He's winning 0-3-1 Paulo Nedved. Even if Henry did that season, he's still winning it. Neymar's that good. Neymar, in my opinion, is a top 40 player of all time. Just pure talent. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's your boy, Lights Game Reacts.
This, been through that, reminiscing on my past. I found bliss in the way that I carry on my back. Let my soul sing my song, it goes.